Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg, and today we have some more exciting Ahsoka Season 2 tidbits. This is going to be a more light-hearted video than some of the more recent rumours, but if you did miss some of the big stuff, Anakin's Force Ghost is going to be in action, information about Baylan, Shin, Sabine, then go check out my previous videos. And if you're looking forward to Ahsoka, please hit the big subscribe button down below, but no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight in. Now you're gonna want to stay till the end of this video. We have a lot to cover and lots of news, and we begin with something very exciting. Lucasfilm is gonna start marketing Season 2 very soon. The show is set to drop late 2026, but we might be mere weeks or months away from an official release date. Filming finished about a week ago, but over a 2-day period, Lucasfilm invited several outlets and members of the press to visit the Ahsoka Season 2 set. Several journalists in attendance were allowed to hold some of Ahsoka's lightsabers that Rosario Dawson used in the show, and they said more information to come. At this stage they can't reveal any specifics, but there was a reason Lucasfilm invited them, so I reckon we're just a matter of weeks away from an official announcement, maybe a poster, maybe some kind of teaser. And I have to say, for all my criticisms of the studio, Lucasfilm has been on top of things this year. From Star Wars Celebration, to the Starfighter cast announcement, to the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer releasing. Say what you will about the way it looked, all of that jazz, at least they released it with 8 months to spare. So I would say get ready for an Ahsoka announcement pretty soon. Moving on my friends, a pretty minor update before the big topic, but something exciting nonetheless. Our first official HD look at the new Baylan Skoll, being played by Rory McCann. We've looked at this picture before, but every version of this photo so far has been pretty low res, as it comes from fans who were filming the presentation at Star Wars Celebration. But this is our first proper look. Now I have seen some criticism, fans pointing out how difficult would it have been to give him white hair, similar to Ray Stevenson. But fans saying this need to take a closer look, and also keep in mind, we can't really see his hair in this photo, it's mostly being covered by his hood. I think he looks amazing, and I'm sure he'll continue what Ray started, with grace and overall awesomeness. But the main Ahsoka update we have is something honestly pretty hilarious. At Star Wars Celebration, Dave Filoni confirmed, back in the known galaxy, someone, presumably Ryder Azadi, has been looking after Sabine Wren's Loth cat, Merle. And Dave also confirmed the little fuzzball is going to return in the second season. But Lucasfilm also revealed there are going to be Loth kittens. And a few people have wondered, does that mean Merle is a female? Is this her litter? Or are these Loth kittens unrelated? Nonetheless, it confirms that we are returning to Lothal. And on social media, fans seem pretty obsessed with these adorable little cats. And in addition, on Peridia, we're going to see more Noti, including infants, and now we have some more information. In explaining his reasoning, Dave Filoni said he included these adorable characters because, quote, I have to pay for the show somehow. He acknowledges that cuteness is an essential part of the recipe for profit, especially in recent Star Wars years. We were literally just talking about this the other day when the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped. Grogu himself is a huge cash cow for Disney in terms of merch. And Zellans, similar deal, Porgs in The Last Jedi, Babu Frick in The Rise of Skywalker, and as aforementioned, Loth cats in Star Wars Rebels, and the Ahsoka show. And while Grogu, or Baby Yoda, as some people still call him, is a big part of Mando, even if these Loth kittens appear for just 5 seconds, they're going to be a fan favourite part of the season, a big part of the marketing, and you can guarantee they're going to be a central focus in the merch. At Galaxy's Edge, with plushies, with Funko Pops, with toys. I'm already seeing people go crazy for them. I mean, you can't go wrong with space kittens. And I guess in a really strange way, Dave is proving he is the heir of George Lucas, putting emphasis on the importance of toys. George always said that toy sales were more important than ticket sales. If you're talking about these kittens going all over the parks, Loungefly, Hasbro, then he has a point. He has to pay for the show somehow. And he also added something which contributes to all of this. He confirmed that in Ahsoka Season 2, their legs are not strong enough to walk, so they're going to have to roll around. Need I say anything else? even aside from the merch, this is very much in line with Filoni's personality. He's often teasing fans while being fully aware of the meta conversations around Star Wars productions. Something you learned from George is balancing serious Star Wars, so the New Republic fight against Thrawn, Baylan and Shin, maybe Abeloth, the Mortis stuff, with the more light-hearted, maybe family-focused, cutesy stuff, whether that's Grogu, comic relief like Jar Jar Binks, Sabine's Loth cat, and I guess in Season 2, Loth Kittens. But here's what I've been wondering. I know Ezra is back in the known galaxy, but Sabine and Ahsoka are still stuck on Peridea. So what role is Lothal gonna play in Season 2? Do you think that maybe Ezra moved into Sabine's place, which was originally his hideout in Rebels, and this time it's him obsessing over her and devising a plan to get her and Ahsoka home? But I do wonder if Lothal is going to have a greater importance, something beyond the obvious Ezra connection. But it is also worth considering that some factions of the Remnant might try to take it back and occupy. According to the Star Wars Timelines book, the threat of the Empire still looms long after Palpatine's death, and by 35 ABY, so much further down the timeline, Lothal is in open rebellion against First Order occupation. We're now going to move on to a big question that Season 2 and Dave Filoni need to answer. In Season 1, Ahsoka experienced a kind of rebirth. This is when she got her white costume. It was first teased in Star Wars Rebels, just before Ahsoka and Sabine were going to embark to find Ezra, but that Rebels scene has now been replaced. There is a new version of it, and the timeline of when Ahsoka gets her robes has been changed. But while she's changed her costume, there is a missing piece of her transformation, one which Dave has decided to deliberately omit, or it's still to come: Ahsoka's majestic staff. Her journey so far has been very intense, coming to peace with Anakin's journey, meeting him in the world between worlds, and choosing life. She is now ready once again to call herself a Jedi, and as I think we're going to see in Season 2, she is ready to fulfill her place amongst the ones. But there is one thing missing: her Gandalf-like Force staff. Now, I believe Dave is going to rework its importance. Ahsoka will only attain it when her full transformation, maybe into the new daughter, is complete. Now, you might be wondering, well, why would Ahsoka need a staff? Well, consider this. She already lost one of her lightsabers fighting Morgan Elsbeth. If she loses the other one in Season 2, then the door is open for some kind of Force staff, maybe one that is granted by the powers that be on Peridea. We have heard about lots of crazy fantasy ideas, so I wouldn't put it past Dave to do this. And to be fair, regardless of Ahsoka Tano's own words, whether she identifies as a Jedi or not, she's always been a very unique kind of Force user. And Dave, given how much he loves the character, always envisions something a bit more for her, more than just being a standard Jedi. And I believe by the end of Season 2, or maybe by the end of Dave's movie, Ahsoka will finally have her staff. I have no idea who it's from, but I think it's going to be linked to Morai, her being the daughter, and the living Force. But either way, the endpoint for Ahsoka's journey, I think, is going to be embodying wisdom, serenity, and purpose. Like I said, like Gandalf the White from The Lord of the Rings. It's an intentional parallel, but I think she's still processing what it means to be a Jedi on her own terms. After her rebirth, she emerges lighter in spirit, and while she has changed, I think narratively she still has quite some way to go, and I think in the end, the staff will be a symbol of peace and enlightenment. Ahsoka doesn't need or deserve it until she fully embraces the path before her, and that's why she says at the end of Season 1 that she and Sabine are exactly where they're supposed to be. I'm starting to question if Ahsoka ever comes back. Her place, I believe, is tied to the Ones. What do you guys think about this? Just a bit of fun speculation. Do you think Ahsoka's going to get her staff in the end, or has that been retconned? Let me know down below. And what do you make of all of today's updates?